سيدي ويا مولاي يا رسول الله صلى الله عليك يا مولاي وابن مولاي يا أبا عبد الله يا حبرة كل مؤمن ومؤمنة يا ليتنا كنا معكم سيدي فنفوز والله فوزا عظيما. السلام عليك يا أبا عبد الله وعلى الأرواح التي حلت بفنائك، عليكم مني جميعا سلام الله يبدأ ما بقيت وبقي الليل والنهار. أما بعد، فقد قال الله تعالى في القرآن الكريم وقوله الحق وهو أصدق الصادقين: بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والعصر إن الإنسان لفي خسر إلا الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات وتواصوا بالحق وتواصوا بالصبر. صلوات على محمد.
اللهم صل على محمد.
We send our deepest condolences to Imam Sahib al-Asr wal-Zaman on this grievous incident, the commemoration of the death and martyrdom of Imam Abu Abdullah al-Hussein, the man that not only sacrificed himself and sacrificed all that he had, but sacrificed his very soul and his family members that came with him. And that's why you find American philosophers and American writers have came forward and acknowledged the fact and the greatness of Imam Abu Abdullah al-Hussein. Not Muslims. We're not speaking about Muslims here. We're speaking about Christians, non-Muslims, who come forward and acknowledge the greatness of Imam Abu Abdullah al-Hussein. Now, we don't need non-Muslims to come and acknowledge the fact that Imam Abu Abdullah al-Hussein is so great. What this just indicates the universality of the mission and the message of Imam Abu Abdullah al-Hussein. Where Charles Dickinson, he comes forward and says that if Imam Hussein alayhi salam came for his worldly possessions, or for his personal interest, then why is it that he has brought with him his daughters, he has brought with him his ladies, he has brought with him his children? This indicates what? This indicates that Imam Hussein alayhi salam came solely to sacrifice himself to keep Islam alive. And that's why, inshallah, brothers and sisters, throughout these 10 nights that will be proceeding today, I would like to speak about an important topic that maybe many of us have been heedless of. And not really the mission of our purpose on this earth, but our mission in general. Why? Because when you analyze the human being, you'll find that he has two purposes. A purpose on this earth, and a purpose for the hereafter. Where Allah says, وَلِمَنْ خَافَ مَقَامَ رَبِّهِ جَنَّتَانِ. Have you read this verse? Allah says, and he who fears the position of his Lord receives 2 heavens. What do you mean Allah 2 heavens? Many of us are just used to one paradise. The paradise where you die, and either you go to the hell or you go to paradise. What is this second paradise that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is speaking about? He's speaking about the paradise that Imam Sahib al-Asr wal-Zaman would come and create on this earth. Why is that? Because when Imam Mahdi alayhi salam comes, what is he going to do? Imam Mahdi is supposed to play a proactive role in all of our lives. We're supposed to understand what he's going to be doing when he comes. We have to understand what our role is in sacrificing our personal interests to do what? To prepare for the social government of Imam Sahib al-Asr wal-Zaman. Imam Sahib al-Zaman is going to come and do what? He's going to come and establish a social divine justice government. Dawlat al-Adl al-Ilahi. Many of us have been heedless of this incident and of this situation. Imam Mahdi is going to come, he's going to say, where are my Shia? He's going to come, he's going to say, what have you done to prepare for my reappearance? He's going to come and ask Are you ready for me to come? Because most of us think what? We think that Imam Mahdi, we're waiting for Imam Mahdi. Whereas it's the exact opposite. Imam Mahdi is waiting for us. That's why many times I begin to pose this question: is Imam Mahdi in ghaiba or are we in ghaiba? We are the ones who are in ghaiba. We're heedless. We're in this what you call ghaibatul ghafla, ghaiba of heedlessness. Imam Mahdi is there. Imam Mahdi sees us, but we see him as well. Why? Why don't we see him? Because you have to go out and search for him. Imam Mahdi isn't going to come to your door and say, Salaam alaikum, I'm your 12th Imam. No. He's going to say, you have to strive. You have to struggle so that you can see me. And that's why throughout these 10 nights, my dear brothers and sisters, we'll be speaking about the position of Imam Mahdi alayhi salam in our lives and how we can have a better understanding of him. Because when analyzing the situation of Imam Mahdi alayhi salam, you'll realize that you can analyze it from 4 different routes. There's 4 different paths you have to understand and able to reach Dawlat al-Adl, which is Imam Mahdi alayhi salam. Number 1, nature. What is the role of nature surrounding me? And now I'm just giving a brief introduction as to what I'll be speaking about, inshallah, in the preceding nights. Number 1, nature. What's the role of nature surrounding me? MashaAllah, you live in San Diego, a city, rather a state, that's surrounded by beautiful nature. Wherever you look, you go outside, you see beautiful oceans. You look up in the sky is always shining with the sun. You go outside, you see palm trees. What's the role of nature surrounding me? Does nature play a role in the reappearance of Imam Sahib al-Asr wal-Zaman? Number 1. Number 2, I'll be speaking about the role of the individual. What's my personal role in preparing for the reappearance of Imam Sahib al-Asr wal-Zaman? Number 2. And number 3 is that what's the role of society in my life? Because every human being, no matter how religious he is, no matter how strong his connection is with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, if he's placed in a society which is corrupt, if he's placed in a society which doesn't mention the name of Allah, whether he likes it or not, he'll be influenced by it. Whether he likes it or not, وَهُمْ لَا يَشْعُرُونَ. They won't even realize it. Number 3, society. And number 4, I'll be speaking about the role of prophets in our guidance and how they alluded to the government that Imam Mahdi alayhi salam would build. But today, inshallah, I would like to begin with the concept of nature. I would like to give a brief introduction as to what the role of nature is surrounding us. And I'll begin with the concept of time. The element of time. What's the role of time in our lives? Inshallah, I'll begin after Allah salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
One of the few elements that has been consistent ever since the birth of mankind and will not cease to be consistent until the expiration of mankind has been the element of time. It has played a role in every human being's life, regardless of who, what, where, why, or when. It has been on a consistent basis despite the ups and downs of history. Now when coming and trying to understand what the purpose of time is, you'll find that some philosophers will come and say what? They'll say time is just an illusion. Others will come and say what? No, time is irrelevant. Time is simply something that doesn't have an effect on our life, but simply that's part of our life. It's irrelevant. Others will come and say what? Time is everything. Time is very relevant. So what's the Islamic view? What's the Islamic idea? What's the position of Islam when it comes to the importance of time? Notice how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala swears by time. Whenever Allah swears by something, you know it's something important. You know it's something worth discussing. What does He say? He says, وَالْعَصْرِ, by time. Why is Allah swearing by time? What's the importance of time? What's the effect of time on my behavior? When analyzing this concept of time, this element of time, I'd like to analyze it from 3 different perspectives. Number 1, what is the purpose of time? Number 2, what does it mean to respect time? And number 3, what is the effect that time has on my behavior? And inshallah, when analyzing it from these 3 different perspectives, inshallah, we'll have a clear understanding as to what time is and what its role is in my life. Everything in Islam produces for us values. Everything. I go back to nature. Nature has been created by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for a purpose, for a reason. You have two kinds of people. The first person will go outside, he'll see this beautiful palm tree, he'll say, wow, that tree is so beautiful. And he'll stop there and keep on walking. The second person will come and say what? He'll link this nature and he'll delve into something deeper than the physical nature itself, and he'll conclude to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. What would he say? يَتَفَكَّرُونَ فِي خَلْقِ السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ رَبَّنَا مَا خَلَقْتَ هَذَا بَاطِلًا سُبْحَانَكَ فَقِنَا عَذَابَ النَّارِ. The first person is heedless of what nature represents. The second person comes and says, wow, look at this ocean. If the creation is that beautiful, then how beautiful is the creator? Notice how they link them together. So everything in Islam produces for us values. Now when coming to the element of time, it produces values for us as well. The first value that time produces for us is the value of patience. Patience comes second. The first value that time produces for us is discipline. Islam is a religion that emphasizes on the discipline of a human being. Notice the two major forms of worship in our lives, being salat and saum, are built on what? Built on time. إِنَّ الصَّلَاةَ كَانَتْ عَلَى الْمُؤْمِنِينَ كِتَابًا مَوْقُوتًا. Indeed, salah has been prescribed on the believers at fixed periods, fixed times. Now somebody asks a question, why didn't Allah just give us 5 units and He could have told us pray them whenever you want? You could have prayed Maghrib at Isha, Isha at Dhuhr, Dhuhr at Subuh. You could have, everything would have been mixed up. Why did Allah set certain fixed periods for us to pray at? Allah is highlighting that Islam is a religion that emphasizes on the discipline of the human being. Islam wants us to be disciplined. And it's very unfortunate that many of us, and I point fingers to myself first, Allah tells us to pray 1:15, what time do you pray? 6:45. Rather when there's a movie, when there's a movie, for instance, the movie begins at 8 o'clock. Are we at the movies 8 o'clock? No way. 7:30, we're there, we buy the popcorn, we buy the drinks, we're going to the theaters, we find the seat, and then when 8 o'clock comes, we're prepared. All we need to do is face the TV. Whereas when Salat comes 1:15, what happens? We pray at 6:45. If you want to know the discipline of a human being, analyze him when Salat time comes. Aisha, what does she narrate? She says that when Rasulullah would speak to us, we would speak to him. He would laugh with us, we would laugh with him. But when the time of Salah came, it was as if he doesn't even know us. He doesn't know us. Why? Because he understands that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the creator of the skies and the earth, has come and said what? He has come and said that I want to talk to you. Imagine, for example, the President of the United States or a highly regarded official told you, I want to have a meeting with you at 5 o'clock. Just like the movie. You'll be there before 5 o'clock, you'll prepare. You'll even try to look good, even though it's just a phone call. You'll talk to him. And you'll be honored to speak to him. What if the creator of the skies and the earth has come and told you, I want to speak to you? عبدي أطعني تكن مثلي تقول لشيء كن فيكون. My servant, worship me, you'll be like me. You say to the thing, be, and it will be. Islam is a religion, number one. Time has showed us that time is a discipline. Allah has used time to discipline the human being. Number two, time produces for us the element of patience. Patience. Allah beautifully shows us the correlation between time and patience in the surah that I began with, Surah Al-Asr. What does Allah say? He says, وَالْعَصْرِ, by time, إِنَّ الْإِنسَانَ لَفِي خُسْرٍ. Indeed, man is at loss. إِلَّا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا وَعَمِلُوا الصَّالِحَاتِ وَتَوَاصَوْا بِالْحَقِّ وَتَوَاصَوْا بِالصَّبْرِ. Sabr is what? Sabr is patience. Allah says that you can't have iman, you can't do good, you can't excel with truthfulness except if you have patience. Why is it so important? Because lack of patience leads to what? Lack of patience leads to greed. Notice Umar ibn Sa'ad. Umar ibn Sa'ad killed Abu Abdullah al-Hussein. Why? Because he didn't have patience. He wanted this reward instantly. Whereas when he killed Abu Abdullah al-Hussein, he put his head on a spear. He went to Yazid. He said, إِمْلَأْ رِكَابِ فَضَّةً أَوْ ذَهَبًا فَإِنِّي قَتَلْتُ السَّيِّدُ الْمُعَدَّرَ. He said, fill my hands with gold and silver, for I have killed the son of Rasulullah. Notice, What does this mean? This means when I have no patience, it leads to love of this world. When I have no patience, it leads to greed. And that's why you find Ahlul Bayt salamullahi alayhim, they were revered. If they were revered for something, they were revered for their patience. Because patience signifies what? It signifies when you have lack of patience, it shows that you're a slave of your desires. But when you do have patience, it shows what? It shows what? It shows that you're a king. You ride your desire and you control it. Notice, whenever something wants to come inside of me, or I have urge to do something, if you have no patience, instantly that urge and that desire will conquer you. But if you had patience, what happens? You conquer it. There's a big difference. Ahlul Bayt salamullahi alayhim were revered for their patience. Because when I have patience, I understand that the mu'min strives to do good. He plants the seed of salvation, but must be patient. For only through time will the fruit of that seed emerge. Notice, Imam Zayn al-Abidin alayhi salam, a slave comes to him, his maid, his servant, and she spills on him boiling hot water. Immediately, what did she say? She said, الَّذِينَ يُنْفِقُونَ فِي السَّرَّاءِ وَالضَّرَّاءِ وَالْكَاظِمِينَ الْغَيْظِ. She quoted the verse from the Holy Quran. What did she say? She said, those who swallow their anger. وَالْعَافِينَ عَنِ النَّاسِ. He said, عَفَوْتُ عَنْكِ. إِنَّ اللَّهَ يُحِبُّ الْمُحْسَنِينَ. You are free to go. Imam controlled his anger. Imam had patience. Why? Because he understood that at the day of judgment, justice will prevail. Imam Hussein alayhi salam, excellent example. We have all gathered here to remember one man, Imam Abu Abdullah al-Hussein. Imam Hussein alayhi salam, what happened to him? Notice nowadays what happens. One scratch, or we fall, or something bad happens to us. Immediately we look up to Allah, we begin to question him. We say, Allah, how could you do this to me? Allah, I'm your servant. I am a Muslim. How could you do this to me? Imam alayhi salam sees his brother butchered and sacrificed, murdered in front of his eyes. He sees his children beheaded in front of him. What does he say? Does he say, oh Allah, why are you doing this to me? No. He says, Allahumma in kana hada yurdik, fazidni minhu. He says the exact opposite. He said, oh Allah, if this is satisfying you, then increase it upon me. Number 2, patience. Number 3, the value that time produces for us is graduality. One of the main reasons why today the world is engulfed in problems and engulfed in chaos and corruption. Why? Because they want everything now. Notice, for example, robberies. Why do we have robberies? Why do robberies take place? They want it now. They don't want to earn it. Allah came and said what? He said, وَالَّذِينَ جَاهَدُوا فِينَا لَنَهْدِيَنَّهُمْ سُبُلَنَا. Those who strive in our path, we will sustain them. Allah didn't say go and rob people. Those who commit robberies do what? They don't want to earn it. They want it right away. For example, steroids. I hope nobody here takes steroids. But for example, steroids. Why do people take steroids? They don't want to earn this physical development. They want their body to enhance physically right away. So what do? They take this pill, or they take this shot. Islam came and said that everything you do is earned gradually. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala can say to the thing, be, and it will be. Yet why did He create the earth and the skies in 6 days? What? Allah can say, kun fayakun. Yet He created the skies and the earth and the universe in 6 days to show to you that everything is earned gradually. Graduality, my dear brothers and sisters. Salawat ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. And the fourth and last value that time produces for us is that time is a revealer. What does it mean that time is a revealer? Through time, truth is assured and falsehood emerges. I'll give you a simple example. Saddam, and I speak to you from Iraqi's perspective. Saddam dictated Iraq for 35 years. Not a single soul had a simple idea that there'll come a day where Saddam will be taken out of power. Everybody thought Saddam was a strong man. Everybody thought Saddam was a brave man. Yet through time, what happened? He ended up in a hole, looking like Santa Claus. He ended up in a hole. Because only through time, what happens? Only through time will your true colors emerge. Zainab salamullahi alayha is standing in the court of Yazid. She tells him, كِدْ كَيْدَكْ يا يزيد وَسَعْ سَعْيَكْ فَمَا أَيَّامُكَ إِلَّا عَدَدْ وَمَا رَأْيُكَ إِلَّا فَتَدْ وَمَا جَمْعُكَ إِلَّا بَدَدْ وَسَيَعْلَمُ الَّذِينَ ظَلَمُوا أَيَّ مُنْقَلَبٍ يَنْقَلِبُونَ وَالْعَاقِبَةُ لِلْمُتَّقِينَ. What did she tell him? She said, "Oh Yazid, strive, carry out your plan, do whatever you want to do. Walakin, under one condition, understand that through time your true colors will emerge. To the extent that today, go to the shrine of Yazid if you can find it, and look at the garbage surrounding it, and go to the shrine of Allah Abdullah al-Hussein, and look at the millions driving to a shrine saying, Labbaika ya Hussein." To the extent that what? The death of Imam Hussein played as an inspiration, as motivation to the people that came before him. Notice Gandhi. Gandhi is one of the most revered political characters in history. What does he say? He says, تَعَلَّمْتُ مِنَ الْحُسَيْنِ كَيْفَ أَكُونَ مَظْلُومًا فَأَنْتَصِرْ. He said, I learned from Hussein how to be oppressed, yet still be victorious. This is Imam Hussein alayhi salam. Time has assured to us that Imam Abu Abdullah al-Hussein was victorious on the 10th of Muharram. Because Imam didn't go to Karbala to win a physical battle, my dear brothers and sisters. Many people say Imam lost the war, his family was killed, his daughters and his children were taken as captives to the land of the Sham. No. Imam Abu Abdullah didn't go to win a physical battle. Let's understand this. Imam didn't go to win a physical battle. For any sane mind can understand that 72 companions can't win a battle against 30,000. And he said, man, you don't need to be a genius to understand this. Yet Imam said, I'm going to Karbala not to win a physical war, yet to make a powerful statement that will stay in the annals of history until today. This is the proof. 1400 years after Imam Hussein's death, we're still here remembering him. Imam didn't come to win a physical battle. He came to set a message. He came to send a word to the world. Number one, that's the purpose of time. Number two, what does it mean to respect time? There's a proverb in Arabic, it says what? It says, Al-waqtu kas-sayf. Time is like a sword. إِن لَمْ تَقْطَعْهُ يَقْطَعَكْ. If you don't strike it, it will strike you. What does that mean? This means when I'm wasting time, time can't be wasted. People say, stop wasting time. Time keeps on going. Whether you take advantage of it or not, all you're wasting is yourself. You can't waste time. Time is consistent, like I mentioned in the beginning. All you're wasting is yourself. And that's why you find that as Muslims, we need to sit down and make a realistic schedule, balancing our worldly duties with our religious ones. Especially our youth. Inshallah, in the preceding night, I hope to see youth. I see faces of youth. Why? Because as youth, if you don't sit down and make a realistic schedule as to what you're going to be doing, religion becomes oppressed. Think about it. You wake up, you go to school. What happens after that? You come back home, you do your homework, you eat, you see your family, you go back to sleep. If you don't sit down and make a realistic schedule as to how to balance your worldly duties with your religious ones, religion goes out the window. When I respect time, I take advantage of it. When I respect time, I understand that time is a valuable present from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He has given it to me for a reason. Not so that I can simply waste it here and there, doing these pointless acts. Allah has given me time as a blessing so that I can serve Muhammad wa ala Muhammad.
Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad.
And that's why if you understand how much strength and how much effort Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has put into creating this universe, you'll be embarrassed to waste your time. We understand that Allah has created the skies and earth in how long? 6 days. Yeah, what does he say? He says, إِنَّ يَوْمًا عَنْدَ رَبِّكَ كَأَلْفِ سَنَةٍ مِّمَّا تَعُدُّونَ. 1 day is 1,000 years equivalent to the 1 day that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created the skies and earth. Meaning what? Meaning Allah has put effort. Allah has created the skies and the earth for you, not for anybody else. He hasn't created the skies and the earth for the jinns. He hasn't created it for the animals. He has created it for you, O insan. So that when you're wasting a minute, when you're wasting an hour, you're not wasting simply 60 minutes. You're wasting billions of years that have been in the making to serve you. أَلَمْ يَأْنِ لِلَّذِينَ آمَنُوا أَن تَخْشَعْ قُلُوبُهُمْ لِذِكْرِ اللَّهِ. Allah says, aren't you embarrassed that when my name is mentioned, your heart doesn't begin to palpitate? الَّذِينَ يَذْكُرُونَ اللَّهَ قِيَامًا وَقُعُودًا وَعَلَى جُنُوبِهِمْ. You should remember Allah constantly. Why? To understand the blessing that Allah has given you. Sometimes the human being becomes heedless, totally heedless. He walks around thinking that Allah is against him. He walks around forgetting the blessings that Allah has given him. That's why you find a man, he came to Imam al-Baqir to complain to him. Something happened to him. Imam wanted to make him aware of the blessings that Allah has given him and the fact that he shouldn't forget them. He comes to Imam alayhi salam. What does Imam tell him? He tells him, which blessing of Allah have you come to thank me about? What do you mean, Imam? The man was immediately embarrassed. He said, Allahu Akbar. Allah has given me the power of vision, the power of hearing, the power to smell, the power to speak. And I have the audacity to come to Allah and question His authority. Allahu Akbar. The human being becomes very heedless sometimes. When we come to Muharram, we try to put the message of Imam Hussein alayhi salam into perspective. Because you have two kinds of love when it comes to love of Abu Abdullah al-Hussein. You have emotional love. He'll come to the masjid. He'll cry. He'll beat his chest. He'll wear black. Yet the minute he leaves the masjid, he forgets Imam Hussein, he forgets the mission that he came with. And then you have something that you call practical love. Practical. I love Fatima to Zahra. I strive to emulate how she looked. I strive to dress like her. I strive to act like her. I love Imam Hussein alayhi salam. He said, Hayhat min al-dhilla. He went against the oppressor of his time. He went against Shimr. Today, my job isn't to curse Shimr. Cursing Shimr is excellent. Yet my duty is to understand who the Shimr of my time is and to go fight him. This is my duty. Otherwise, Yazid has left. Yazid is 6 feet under. Go find his bones. Shimr has left this world. My duty is to understand who the Shimr of my time is and to strive to bring him down to his knees. What does it mean to respect time? And number 4, how does time have an effect on my behavior? What's the effect of time on my behavior? Time is measurable. Time is measurable. Anything measurable is finite. Anything finite had a beginning, therefore it will have an end. When I understand time is limited, I become in a constant state of vigilance. I become in a constant state of awareness. Why? Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَمَا تَدْرِي نَفْسٌ مَاذَا تَكْسِبُ غَدًا وَمَا تَدْرِي نَفْسٌ بِأَيِّ أَرْضٍ تَمُوتُ. You never know when death will come to you. I can leave this center, death comes and takes me. When I have this in mind, I'm constantly doing good. When I have this in mind, I'm constantly serving Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala because I want to meet Him in the best forms possible. I want to meet Him with a pure soul. I want to meet Him, somebody who is worthy of meeting Him. There's a big difference of meeting Allah and somebody worthy of meeting Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Salat ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. And not to take much of your time, yet my last 2 points is that when I know time is limited, what do? I strive to do something that will transcend the element of time. What do I mean? Imam Hussein alayhi salam was 57 years old when he died. Yet his mission has transcended time. His mission lived past the element of time. That's why you have this concept of sadaqah jariyah. Sadaqah jariyah is what? I pay, or I build a mosque, or I give donation, and if that donation is benefiting the people after my death, it still counts as ajr. Yani my discount, my income is still going up while I'm 6 feet under. This is sadaqah jariyah. I strive to do something that will transcend the element of time. And my last point, my dear brothers and sisters, is that I understand that time is a means and not an end. Meaning what? When we visit Imam Mahdi, what do we say? As-salamu alayka ya sahib al-asri wa zaman. What does that mean? Peace be upon you, O master of age and time. What does that mean? Meaning this time is a means to reach Imam Mahdi alayhi salam. Time has been given to me so that I can strive and put all of my efforts and potentials and skills in one path, and that's to serve my 12th Imam, which in essence is serving Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Let's not forget, brothers and sisters, that Allah will ask us, I have given you this potential. I have given you skills. Why haven't you used it in my way? Why haven't you used it to serve me? Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will ask you. Whatever you do for the youth, if you're striving to get a degree, don't simply get a degree because it makes good income. No. Do something that's in correlation with your religion. And I point my fingers to the youth, because youth are the backbone of society. Youth are the foundation, the fabric of society. Imam Mahdi is going to come. He's going to be looking for new generations. He's going to be looking for people who have strong hearts, who have iman that is filled with the nur of Allah and nur of Muhammad and his family. That's why you find Muhammad. And that's why you find on the 10th of Muharram. And I conclude, the angels will question Allah. They'll tell him, Allah, Imam Hussein alayhi salam has just shouted, Ala hal min nasirin yansuruna, Ala hal min mu'aynin yu'aynuna. Can we go down to this earth and help Imam Hussein? He tells them, I give you permission. They go down to the land of Karbala. What do they find? They find that Imam has already been beheaded. They say, Allah, you have just given us permission to go and help Imam Hussein. He has already died. What's going on? What's the situation? Immediately he shows the nur of Sahib al-Asr wa Zaman. He says, بِهَذَا أَنْتَقِمُ لِهَذَا. He says, through this, I will revenge for this, but through time. But through time. And on a night like this, my dear brothers and sisters, Ahlul Bayt in general are remembering Abu Abdullah al-Hussein. Imam al-Rida alayhi salam, whenever he would hear the lines of poetry being recited about Abu Abdullah al-Hussein, he couldn't handle it. On nights like this, anything that would happen to the family of Muhammad, they would link it to the 10th of Muharram. Notice Imam al-Sadiq alayhi salam, they come and they burn his house. They place the wood around his house and they burn it. He comes running out of the house crying. They tell him, Imam, do you cry out of fear? Why do you cry? He says, no, wallah, I don't cry out of fear. But when I seen the house being lit on fire, and my sisters and daughters and women running from room to room, I remembered the ladies of Abu Abdullah running from tent to tent. And that's why Imams, whenever a man would come to them, he would ask them, are you able to write poetry? They would tell him yes. He would tell them, then recite poetry about Imam Abu Abdullah al-Hussein. Where Du'bul al-Khuzai, this famous poet, he comes to one of our Imams and he recites to him these famous lines of poetry saying, أفاطم لا وخلت الحسين مجدلا وقد مات عطشانا بشط فراتي أفاطم لو خلت الحسين مجدلا أفاطم قوم يا ابنة الخير واندبي نجوم السماوات بأرض فلاتي. May Allah help the heart of Zainab Salamullahi alayha. Zainab alayhi salam was a lady who was oppressed to the utmost extent. But did she forget Allah? No, she didn't. When they were passing by the bodies of the murdered ones, after they were taken, while they were being taken as captives to the land of Sham, she passed the body of Abu Abdullah al-Hussein. She said, "O Zayn al-Abidin, that is the body of my brother Hussein. Let me run to him. Let me farewell him goodbye one last time." He told her, "Amma Zaynab, irhami bi dha'fi badani. Amma Zaynab, irhami bi qillati hilati." She tells him, "Oh Zayn al-Abidin, I want to go to the body of Abu Abdullah." He tells her, "Oh Zaynab, have mercy upon my weak body. I cannot handle seeing you crying on the body of my father Abu Abdullah al-Hussein." أترجو أمة قتلت حسينا شفاعة جده يوم الحساب. إلهنا نسألك بفاطمة وأبيها وبعلها وبنيها والسر المستودع فيها إلا قضيت لنا حوائجنا جميعا والاستجابة الدعاء, for the answer of our prayers and for the acceptance of this humble effort. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to accept it. Before Allah, salawat ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad.